Morning. I thought about recording this video last night on my way back from Boston. Moved my son in down there. But my wife was with me. She doesn't want to listen to me talk to myself. So there's something I've been thinking about talking about, which is building teams and how to build teams, how to measure teams, and what it comes right down to is toxic people build toxic teams, and good people, good leaders can build good teams, but still end up on occasion with toxic people. So rarely will you find a toxic leader build a really good team. Although crazy enough, I know it happens. I prefer the style of trying to be a good leader and build a good team, and recognizing if you have a bad apple in the bunch, and talk about the influences of the outside world on someone's worldview and how that can affect the workplace. It's pretty easy to build a small team, 5 or 6 people, 8 or 10 people. That's it's not a hard thing to do, but it's really important, especially if you're starting out in business, because those people, those initial people, and if you're a stage 1 business, if you're in this reckless kind of mode, reckless ambition, it's the most important people you're going to hire in your first, say, 5 to 10 years, are those initial ones, because what you're doing is you're knighting people. You're bringing in folks who are the knights that protect the castle. And if you create the wrong type of a culture, it's going to be really hard to scale. If you can build the right type of a culture, then it'll be easier to grow, because those knights will protect the castle, and the castle is the culture. That's what that is your castle. It's not your product necessarily. It's not necessarily your supply chain. Right? Those things are all outside of the castle. The castle is the circle of trust, right? It's the Knights of the Round Table. And I just think that's so damn important. If not, it's going to bite you in the ass in the long run. Really bite and hurt and sting, and you might lose a limb. And I've experienced this in my first business. I got bit, and I got bit hard, because my culture was not a culture of trust and respect that I had built in my early 20s. It was a culture of likability. It was a culture where I wanted my peers to like me and to have fun, and there was a foosball table, and we would it was like a frat almost, and I thought that's what it was all supposed to be about. And not the case. You've heard me say in the past, it doesn't matter to me if someone likes me or not, right? You're not looking to be liked as a leader. You're looking to be respected, and you're looking to be trusted. And normally the byproduct of that is they also will like you as a leader, because they don't lose that trust and respect. And so sometimes, even if they don't agree with it, they're still moving in the same direction. I also want to talk about performance and potential, and this is a way to rate teams. It's called a 9 box, and then I have another 9 box I've been working on, and I did run it by my wife last night on our way home, and it's called a buy-in 9 box. And the two legs of that 9 box is vision and culture. And I might have to put this on the whiteboard to really, so you can visualize it instead of me walking you through. Performance, right? Potential. So think of 2 legs, low, medium, high, low, medium, high. So horizontal leg, performance, low, medium, high. Potential, low, medium, high. You got to keep in mind that when you're building teams and you're hiring people, you hire for function and you fire for fit. All right. So 1 9 box, performance and potential, that's function. Okay. That's the function that the business needs. They need high performing people, A players with high potential to grow inside the company. That's function. Fit is vision and culture. Do they buy into the vision, and can they assimilate to the culture? And this is a 9 box that no one's ever talked about. Again, if you unite individuals in your organization, and they can become an extension of the vision and the culture, more importantly, the culture is the castle, then you can really scale. Because you're going to lose touch points with your army as it grows. Like I said, in Origin, we're spread across multiple states, and there's lots of individuals. One sec here. There's lots of individuals I don't have touch points with on a daily basis. If I don't see somebody for 3 months, or a couple months, let's say I'm going to use Josh Reeks. Josh and Mercy Reeks. They're kind of a power couple down in North Carolina. One runs the floor, the other one runs quality. Yeah, of course there's touch points, Amanda might have with Mercy, or Andy, our SVP of Ops, might have with Josh. But if I see Josh, it's like we never stop talking. All right, it's like we're on the same page. We know exactly what needs to happen, and there's no questions asked, and that's because, I've got good people in these roles that are in the top corner of 9 box 1, which is performance and potential. So we're in the top right corner, and then when it comes to vision and culture, they're in the top right corner also. If you have a person that's in the top right corner of both, then you have an A player. Let me say that again. If you have a person who is in the top right corner of both, you have an A player. It doesn't matter if they're a junior, a manager, or an executive, right? You have an A player. If they're junior, if they're new, that's a deep select. That's somebody you want to pull up and out of the organization. And include them in the conversations. Not all the conversations, but the ones that you think they're going to get value out of. And so when I've made mistakes in hiring. I mean, gosh, the freaking mistakes I've made in hiring, trying to hire people that I liked, and I thought would do a good job, and had the right words, said the right things, but I had a little bit of angst in my gut about it. The angst in your gut is, will this person fit the culture? Will this person buy into the vision? It's all buy-in angst. Buy-in, right? Buy-in. Are they going to buy into this thing? Not physically buy in, but mentally, emotionally buy in to the culture and the vision. So that, again, that is fit. Most of the time we're hiring, we're looking at function. Does this person have the skills and institutional knowledge to plug in to and fit into what we're trying to do? Are they good with, let's talk supply chains. Are they good with supply chains? Do they have good interpersonal communication? Are they articulate? Do they follow up quickly? Is this a person I could send out to have a conversation with a vendor or whatever, right? So that's like a fit thing. I'm sorry, that's like a function thing. That's like a function is simply, I like to say at origin, like everything is a function of brand. So brand is the mastermind, right? And all the tentacles of the octopus. And I have my octopus meeting this morning, my square meeting this morning. It's today. So I'll probably bring you into that, and I may draft this up on the board before we get started. And I'm not sure what we're going to talk about today. We're dealing with supply chain issues for flannel. We have a weaving company in Massachusetts weaving our flannel for us, and right now it's at risk, and it's not good because it's a key item for this fall. So I had an advisor, John, tell me once. This is the guy that sold his company for $1.5 billion, and he grew up right here in the woods of Maine. Most successful person I know that came from nothing and nowhere. And when I was going through a hard time early on in Origin, and it was just me and a handful of people at our little timber frame factory, I had built a good culture, right? And I think the vision was there, but I actually didn't know how to scale the company. I just knew kind of how to lead people to buy in. I just understood the buy-in, and he said that I need to start looking. He's like, stop hiring people like you. And I was like, okay, stop hiring people that just basically do what you tell them to do. You're not creating any healthy tension, that friction. You need that healthy tension to get to solutions. So go learn who you are. So the first thing I did when I left that meeting is I did a disc analysis, and this was 2014 or 15. It was over 10 years ago. And then I went and did my Myers-Briggs, and I discovered I was an INFJ with ADHD, and I learned about myself. I learned about my strengths, and I learned about my weaknesses, and I started looking at hiring people that weren't like me. I'm not saying you should always hire people that aren't like you. What I'm saying is it's the diversity of thought that actually builds the shared consciousness that actually scales the business. That the ideas that are brought to the table come from different ways of thinking, not one singular way of thinking. But all of those need to buy into the culture and not try to change the culture. I don't want a cultural revolution inside my damn company, right? Like, and you shouldn't either. Cultural revolutions happen out in society, not inside companies, unless there is a long-term strategic vision to change the culture. And I don't think I ever want to change the culture. And so if you have a revolutionary inside your business, it's not that that's a bad person, right? Because somebody sees something different or wants to do something different than you culturally, it just doesn't fit. And if you can't get them there, then you've got to make a change. How you doing? I'm medium cappuccino with caramel flavoring, please, and Apple Pay.
Anything else?
That's it. Hey, where's your...
We just got new shirts today.
Okay. You still haven't worn your hoodie though, have you?
I haven't worked in a few days.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. All right.
We got new shirts today.
Very good. I like them.
Have a great day.
All right, you ladies have a good day. Thanks. It's not that they're a bad person. It's that their ideas are more important to them than your ideas, and the vision you're casting and the culture you want to build. And when those two things are at odds, that is not healthy tension. When you're constantly fighting against someone, it's not healthy tension. There can only be one chief, right? Like, yeah, you need people around you, but if at any time the voices in your head become louder than your own, that's a problem. And that's something I've experienced also, is too many voices louder than my own, and too many ideas on where and what we should do, or where we should go. And so you've got to be very careful of balancing those extraneous forces, and make sure that you're distilling them so that you can pull the information, whoever it is trying to give you, without shifting your culture. And I wish I could give some real world examples, but I've had, employed probably over the years well over 1,000 people. Probably way more than 1,000 people, actually, when I think about it. And I try not to burn any bridges. I could think of something 7 or 8 years ago, a person I had hired, who I'm still friendly with, that maybe they didn't plug in very well into the company because of a culture problem. They just couldn't get aligned with it, or the vision for the company. They just couldn't get on the same page, regardless of what I did, or more recently, within the last few years. It's one thing, like, to say, like, oh, I like to hire people who know how to be led. That's not a term I use. Is like, oh, hire people that know how to be led. It's really, you've got to first know how to follow before you can lead. Like, you've got to know what it means to follow someone's vision, to follow someone's idea, before you can truly become a strong leader. Because it's gonna change the way that you lead and you think about your team, building your team, addressing your team, or changing your team, right? Again, you hire for function and you fire for fit. The hardest thing in business is the people side. I'm telling you right now, is humans. It's human nature, it's human emotion. What influence, you might hire somebody that's really great and they're really a banger. They come out of the gate strong, right? That first step is fast. You're like, oh, dang. And I've made a mistake in the past, and I see that, and I'm like, oh, sweet, let me just dump all this on this person. They're going to be able to run with it. And then they come in last place, right? In the, 100-meter dash, or more like a marathon, I guess you could say. Because business is more of a marathon. It's not a sprint by any means. Now what I do is every single person I hire, I do like a 3-month probationary period. I don't pull them into anything exceptional for 3 months when I hire somebody, and they're on probation for 3 months, and then at 6 months I kind of do this culture and vision. Okay, I remember I hired for function, right? But now is the culture and vision side, and where do they fit into this 9 box? And I do this mentally, but I'm gonna start doing it physically. And after a year, if this individual has maintained that performance, and I can see the potential, if they've bought into if they've assimilated to the culture, and they see the vision, and I can see them realizing that vision in whatever business unit they're in, then you've got an A player. And what you can do is you can grid on top of this squatters, renters, and owners. And I'll get into the, holy shit, this thing is 20 minutes already. I apologize. Squatters, renters, and owners, and kind of how that all works. So let me get in there, suck some coffee down, and I'll whiteboard this for you. I'm gonna pick on these guys for this. I'm gonna pick on Phil and Justin, and you know what? I'll pick on Amanda too if she's willing to do this. Here, Phil, will you film this for a second?
I'm next to her, so I don't get picked on.
Huh? No, you're both getting picked on. You guys know what a 9 box is? You know what a 9 box is?
I've heard of it.
This is how Amanda and I gauge people.
This is what you're gonna see. So we're gonna create
Let me,
the title.
I need, what do I need? I need a marker.
Bold, like when you see the notification.
So,
And then the message.
I don't know if you're gonna be able to see the board from there, Phil, but. So a 9 box is, let's just draw a square here. It's really gotta be a square. And then it's kind of 9 boxes. Okay.
That's this one. You can just want it to show up as like.
Do it like this. This goes that direction. This goes that direction. And performance.
It's super easy.
Okay.
How did you want to see this?
I mean, no.
No.
First of all, it's cold in here.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
You know the
We
9
talked
box.
about those.
Okay, so this is low, medium, high. And then the same thing this way, low, medium, high. So this is, when you talk about like fit, okay, if you hire for function, my whole vlog this morning is about people building teams and, you know, building kind of like the knights that protect the castle, and how you hire for function but you fire for fit. Like someone can be super talented, but they cannot buy it. Most people gauge employees off of these 2 metrics, performance and potential. But there's a second layer to this. And this is a 9 box that I've been working on to try and find A players. And it's the same 9 box. Vision and culture. Okay. So if you think about this, again, this is something that you discover over time. This is fit. So one is function and one is fit. You always hire for function first, and you try to ask the questions to make sure they're going to fit into the culture and buy into the long-term strategic vision. The problem is you can't have somebody up here and then that same person down here. That's the problem. And I've run into this in the past. Where's that eraser? I've run into this in the past. So ultimately what you want to do is you want to move people up and out, right? You never want to start with hiring somebody that's like down here, right? You could start with somebody down here, right? And you could move them up and out, but never, I would say, never start if your gut says this isn't the person that is going to buy into my vision or culture. Don't hire that person. I don't care how amazing their functions are. It doesn't matter if they're an all-star performer. Doesn't matter, because eventually they're going to try to have a cultural revolution and fuck up your business. Okay, so these are two kind of the two charts here. So I want to put a layer on top of this, which is, and I'm going to see if I can do this here. There's a diagonal graph here. Okay. See this diagonal graph? I'm cutting through here. I'm gonna put a sad face. This is gonna be a neutral face, and then this is gonna be a happy face. All right, and in these same parallels, this parallel is squatters. This parallel is renters, and this one is owners. Okay, so let me unpack this for you. If you have someone who is up here in function and down here in fit, they're a squatter. They're a squatter. They're not here long term. They're not going to be part of your business long term. Regardless if they're adding value, they don't get knighted. Right? They're not getting knighted. Amanda, this is what I was trying to explain to you. The cross sections here. And so at the same time, who do we focus on? Do we focus on if this person is up here in function and they're down here in culture? Do we focus on them? Do we focus on the happy people who are up here in both charts? No. We always focus on the mid-range. The mid-range is 80% of your workforce, right? This down here is 10% most likely. This up here, A players, is 10%. That mid-range is 80% of your workforce. So you always focus on the 80% and you try to pull the 80% over. Okay? Make sense? So the question I have is, go ahead, Phil. I'm gonna pick on you.
Okay.
Where do you plug in? Okay. Let me clean this up a little bit. Okay. Did you get all that?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm still rolling.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm gonna have you put yourself in there
That's cool.
because I've put you on these charts before, both you guys.
I'm gonna stop you just so your file isn't huge.
No. Let it run. Let it run. Oh yeah. Let it run. This is unedited. Okay. So
what am I'm putting on both charts?
yeah. Okay. This is very uncomfortable.
Give me a better marker though.
Okay. I want that one.
I like your nails.
That's good.
All right, so we're going for potential and performance.
Yeah. So that's your standard 9 box.
That would put me somewhere in here.
Okay. Okay.
All right, and then
Culture and vision.
Well, considering that I have a 67 slides of vision
Okay.
for marketing, I would say vision is high. Culture, I mean, I definitely embraced, aside from going to Monday Night Jiu-Jitsu, so I would probably put myself in somewhere in there.
Okay.
I would,
If you're under a controlled ownership,
I would probably,
They will each be provided their own.
for this
But it
business,
is a
I think I would
controlled
put
ownership.
myself just slightly higher on the potential.
I believe so.
So
Yeah,
That's
and
what happened
then,
to you.
and so you're saying your performance is high, and you have high potential
If
too.
they are not under
I believe
controlled
so,
ownership,
Okay.
sure. Yeah, okay. So I think we're good.
and then on,
That was not fun.
I would go down and to the right a little bit on vision and culture.
Like right here?
Yeah.
This is buy-in. Sorry.
Oh, buy-in?
This is buy-in.
Oh.
Oh.
Are you bought in to
That
the
changed.
vision and the culture?
Wait, buy-in.
Oh.
What's
This
the
is
scale?
buy-in.
What's
Oh, I
the
thought
scale
this
of
was like-
buy-in?
Current status.
No. This is current status for sure. So
Okay.
this is real time, and then this is buy-in. So real time. Okay, I know that I'm performing well now, and I believe I have a high potential, right, to perform better in the future as we grow. Versus, I kind of like your culture, or I don't like your culture. I kind of like your vision, or I don't like your vision. So you may have somebody that is like here. We've had people in the past here. Totally love what you guys are doing. Don't like your culture. Right? Make sense? All right.
And we're so easy to give. We've been historically so easy to give and invite and welcome in, which is good, which is part of our culture, right? That is something we can't lose. But when it comes down to it, it is our job to protect the castle and not invite voices into the room unnecessarily. And I think that's why this is it should be held so tight to the justice group.
Dots off.
Where's the thing? Get up and talk so the owl goes to you so Andrew can see what we're doing. Talk
Well,
with me,
before I pass this knowledge off,
Yeah.
Oh, it is over there. You're good.
Is he also?
Yeah, I'm
is
looking at
the
Andy's
rating
face.
here is how much we're bought in.
That's right.
Okay, I got you. All right.
Do you fit the culture and do you align with the vision? Do you fit the culture, right? One is function, like function and fit.
Gotcha.
Most people are just hiring based off of function. Oh, this person does spreadsheets really, really good.
Simple 9 chart. Okay. Potential, where you are currently. Are you a low performer, medium performer, or a high performer? Or your potential of performance and
That's
then
right.
your actual performance, low, medium, high. I put myself here, JP put himself there. Same concept applied down here, but different metrics. Vision, high vision, mid vision, low vision.
Are you bought in?
And then culture. Are you a low culture fit, a medium culture fit, or a high culture fit? Put a T.
I like where you put that, Tom.
Put a T for Tom.
I like where you put that. I think that is the right place. High potential. We're pushing forward with performance as we build out this whole company in footwear and apparel, and now going into menswear.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what we don't know.
So this one's tough for me culturally. I'm way the fuck over here, but vision-wise, we're trying to establish that. So
Okay.
this is a little bit of unknown.
Okay,
for
so
me.
where do you feel?
So since it's a little bit unknown, I feel like I'm here.
I like Tom's dots. I'd put this whole group exactly where Tom put those dots, which is pretty close. It's pretty close. Pretty close. Yeah, I mean, if it's a group, if we're shooting, that's a nice tight group.
Here.
It's a nice tight.
If we were
Yeah. There you
If we
go.
were shooting,
Yeah.
you would circle these. JP,
That's right.
Let JP Donnell chime in on this.
Yeah.
If you were shooting, you would circle this, and then you would measure it, and you're looking for 1 MOA.
Yeah.
1 minute of angle within an inch. That's
there
what
you go.
you're looking for.
It's just a flesh wound, though. We didn't kill him.
Depends. Depends if
Go
it's
ahead.
a headshot. Yeah, so then...
I had 300 Wood Mag groupings that looked like that this past weekend.
Did you? Anyways, this is something I'm working on, guys.
We use this as a recruiting tool, Andy. A recruitment metric, basically.
Yeah.
It's good. He's gonna make it pretty and easily.
Andy is?
Pete has
Oh,
to make
Pete.
it.
I don't make anything pretty.
Yeah.
So about 15 years ago, I interviewed with SpaceX, and it was a brutal process where it was 3-hour-long phone interviews before they flew me out there. And one of the things they did that I think aligns with what Ramsey does with the going to dinner is they have you give a presentation with very vague requirements. It's basically like what drives you, and that's all they'll give you. And you're expected to get up and talk about yourself and what drives you for 15 minutes in front of a group of 15 people. And I think when you give people the opportunity to just speak openly without a lot of guidance, they're going to start to reveal things in a way that the interview process probably doesn't do, because you're directing things at them and they're prepared for responses. But when you just let them start talking, it's going to expose things.
I'm gonna get into this square meeting, and there's diagonal lines too, which is squatters, renters, owners, sad, neutral, happy, right? So you overlay this chart across those boxes, and you can do it on both of them.
And all three actually of those dots are in the happy, right? Your
Yeah.
diagonal lines.
That's why this group is this group. I expected them to be there, but you can have.
On buy-in, I think Phil and I, like, knowing that it's buy-in, I would move myself up and to the right, and I think
Up
Phil
and to the
would
right,
say the
yeah.
same too.
So I guess the question or not the question, the point of this all is you can't have somebody You can't have an A player in the upper right-hand corner of one and the lower left-hand corner of the other. Okay? That's when you fuck up your team and the knights that protect the castle. A players have to be in the upper right-hand quadrant of both of these charts. And when it talks about culture, and I'm going to jump off this thing so we can get to the square meeting. I'll bring it back in if there's anything interesting. You know, you could say origins culture is we started in jiu-jitsu. We were born on the ground. We're grappling. It's tough. It's arduous. It's masculine. You could say. We've had folks refer to it as like a boys' club. And none of that, and that all actually feels good to me. Like I like having healthy tension in the room. I like energy. I like excitement. I like when people are laughing. I like when people are challenging each other. And you've now been in this square meeting for a few times. I don't know what, 3 or 4 times maybe.
Bits and pieces of it.
Bits and pieces, yeah. So you kind of can see what the culture is. It is a culture of honesty and transparency, and feelings stay out of this room. Right? Remember I told you a couple months ago, I don't allow feelings in this room. Feelings don't build businesses. Emotions don't build businesses. Good strategy, good execution, and good team build businesses. So, out.